Picture this. 65 men crammed onto a wooden ship barely wider than a modern car, 3 weeks at sea. No bathroom, no buckets, no privacy, just open water, salt spray, and the constant threat of disease. By every rule of logic, these ships should have been floating graveyards. Cholera, dysentery, typhoid. These diseases would later wipe out sailors on far cleaner, better-equipped vessels. Yet somehow, Viking crews not only survived, they conquered Iceland, colonized Greenland, and reached North America 5 centuries before Columbus. How? Here's what makes this even stranger. Vikings were obsessed with cleanliness. An Arab diplomat named Ahmad ibn Fadlan wrote about watching them wash every day. English chroniclers complained that Vikings bathed so regularly every Saturday that the day itself became known as Lagerdag, or washing day. Archaeologists have found Viking graves filled with grooming tools, carved combs, tweezers, ear cleaners made from bone and antler. This was a civilization that valued hygiene above most medieval cultures, yet they thrived in vessels offering zero infrastructure for sanitation. The answer? It's hidden in what they didn't build. Summer 1904. Norwegian farmers digging through blue clay uncovered something extraordinary. A Viking ship buried for 1,000 years. The Osberg ship, one of the most perfectly preserved vessels ever found. Archaeologists cataloged everything. Carved wooden posts, a 4-wheeled cart, textile fragments, kitchen vessels. They expected to find something that explained how 32 people managed biological necessities during weeks at sea. They found nothing. No chamber pots, no latrine areas, no sanitation system at all. Maybe it was just a ceremonial burial ship. The Gokstad excavation of 1880 eliminated that theory. A true warship from 890 AD showing extensive wear from real voyages. Same result? Nothing for waste management. Fast forward to 2020. Ground-penetrating radar scans the Jelestad ship before excavation. Modern technology reveals the same purposeful absence. The conclusion is clear. Viking shipbuilders deliberately designed their vessels without any permanent sanitation facilities. This wasn't ignorance, it was engineering genius. To understand why, look at what happened when ships did have sanitation facilities. HMS Thunderer, British Royal Navy, 1854. The ship had dedicated sick berths, trained surgeons, regulations governing hygiene, and purpose-built toilets. Cholera killed 43 men in 2 weeks. This pattern repeated for centuries. Disease, not enemy fire, killed more sailors than combat throughout the age of sail. Vikings faced conditions exponentially worse. The Hedeby 1 longship measured 30 meters long but just 2.7 meters wide. 60 oarsmen working in shifts, sleeping between benches, eating cold provisions while spray soaked their wool cloaks. When storms hit, they couldn't go below deck. There was no deck below. One case of food poisoning should have cascaded through the crew within days. Yet year after year, Viking fleets sailed, raided, traded, and returned. The answer begins with the ship's most distinctive feature. A longship's edge sits just half a meter above the waterline. Stand at the bow, and the ocean is right there, within arm's reach. This proximity was intentional. Human waste went straight overboard. No containment meant no buildup. No buildup meant germs couldn't concentrate. Moving salt water dilutes pathogens instantly, cutting bacterial levels dramatically in seconds. For rough weather, simple wooden buckets served as temporary containers, emptied overboard at the first opportunity, never stored, never allowed to fester. The ship wasn't a sealed space, it was a platform. The ocean didn't just receive their waste, it erased it. But this only addressed immediate waste. The real genius lay in ensuring overboard was rarely more than a few hours from something even better: solid ground. The longship's hull draws just 1 meter of water. While Mediterranean galleys required harbor facilities and deep anchorage, a Viking vessel could beach almost anywhere: sandy coves, gravel shores, river mouths. Over 200 documented Viking harbor sites stretch from Norway to Newfoundland, averaging one every 200 kilometers of coastline. These weren't formal ports. They were protected beaches, fresh water sources, flat ground for overnight camps, a network of reset points. The Torksey excavation in England reveals the full scale. What appeared to be a simple river landing was actually a 55-hectare winter base, larger than many contemporary towns. The Viking Great Army of 872-873 AD built a temporary city. Every beaching became a sanitation reset. Men dispersed inland, clothes were washed in streams, bodies scrubbed with sand and cold water. The ship never had to be a toilet because the ship was never far from land. This came with an environmental cost. Archaeological digs show intestinal parasite levels were much higher near Viking trading centers. Norse sailors protected their crew's health by shifting the sanitation problem onto populations on land. A woman's grave in Greenland yields a bone comb, teeth worn smooth from daily use. Analysis reveals wear patterns consistent with habitual maintenance, systematic discipline, not occasional vanity. John of Wallingford's 1220 AD chronicle records English complaints. They combed their hair daily, bathed every Saturday, changed their garments often. His grievance wasn't about violence, it was about hygiene making them attractive to English women. Vikings didn't just value cleanliness, they ritualized it. Every 7th day, Vikings bathed as cultural tradition. In winter, this required heating precious firewood. During voyages, it meant scrubbing with cold seawater and sand. The practice wasn't optional, it was scheduled like work or worship. This created profound epidemiological protection. Lice and fleas spread devastating diseases like typhus, which regularly killed more medieval soldiers than combat. Daily combing physically removed adult lice before reproduction. Weekly bathing disrupted the parasite life cycle. The ornately carved combs in Viking graves weren't status symbols. They were survival tools that happened to be beautiful. Reputation enforced compliance. Showing up unkempt invited shame powerful enough to modify behavior even in exhausting conditions. Freshwater spoils. It's maritime history's cruelest irony. The substance essential for life becomes lethal within weeks of storage. Sailors in later centuries learned to fear the water barrel as much as enemy ships. Vikings provisioned differently, not through superior knowledge, but practical necessity. Freshwater's weight made it impractical for long voyages. Instead, they carried weak beer and sour milk. The unintended consequence revolutionized shipboard health. Beer production requires boiling water. Sustained boiling kills virtually all human pathogens. Vikings didn't know why heating prevented spoilage, they just knew it worked. Every barrel of weak beer represented gallons of accidentally pasteurized hydration. Sour milk undergoes lactic acid fermentation, dropping pH low enough to inhibit most bacteria while preserving nutritional value for months. The result? Systematic avoidance of contaminated drinking water, the primary killer aboard age-of-sail vessels. The Longship's construction provided a second advantage. Those overlapping planks were never watertight. Seawater constantly seeped through tiny gaps. Archaeological finds confirm wooden bailers as standard equipment. Any organic debris, food scraps, spillage, immediately mixed with seawater and got bailed out within hours. No stagnant pools where bacteria thrive. Compare this to later ship designs with enclosed cargo holds and deep bilges where waste accumulated for weeks. Those ships' bilges became toxic cesspools. The bilge fever that decimated 19th century navies was essentially sepsis from decomposing organic material in stagnant seawater. Viking hulls leaked by design. Or more accurately, builders accepted that perfect sealing was impossible and turned it to advantage. The constant flow of seawater acted as natural cleaning, making the ocean itself their waste management solution. No single innovation explains Viking survival. Their brilliance came from combining three strategies that balanced and strengthened each other. Architectural minimalism eliminated waste concentration points entirely. By refusing to build containment systems, they forced immediate dispersal into the sea's infinite dilution capacity. Cultural discipline converted individual hygiene into collective defense. Social pressure made grooming mandatory. Weekly bathing provided scheduled decontamination. Daily combing physically removed disease vectors. Strategic seamanship ensured the ship never became a closed system. Frequent beaching created reset opportunities. Harbor networks provided land-based infrastructure. Provisioning with fermented liquids accidentally eliminated waterborne disease. What makes this remarkable is that it required no central authority, no bureaucracy, no advanced technology. When the ship's design reached its limits, storms making overboard disposal impossible, cultural practices took over through individual discipline. When social routines broke down during exhausting voyages, planned shore stops reset the crew before contamination could spread. When neither design nor discipline could prevent spoilage, careful provisioning eliminated the risk. Vikings never eliminated disease entirely. Intestinal parasites remained endemic. Dental abscesses and chronic infections still killed. But mass acute outbreaks never systematically collapsed their operations. British ships in 1854 lost more crew to cholera than combat. Spanish treasure fleets were decimated by typhus. Scurvy killed thousands on vessels that carried the solution in their cargo holds. Viking success is measured not in perfect health, but in operational sustainability. Crews remained functional. Expeditions returned. Maritime dominance persisted for 3 centuries. They reached Iceland in 874 AD, Greenland by 985, North America around 1000. Their survival wasn't in spite of the ship's sanitation limits. It was because Vikings designed their strategies around those constraints, turning deadly weakness into advantage. An open deck left sailors exposed to cold and wet, but it stopped germs from building up. A hull that leaked constantly meant hours of bailing, yet it kept the ship flushed with seawater. Stopping frequently on shore slowed progress, but it removed sanitation problems that sank other crews. No Viking manuscript explains their approach to sanitation. The system survived through practice, a culture-wide solution for staying alive in conditions that should have been deadly. 5 centuries before Columbus, Norse sailors stood on the beaches of North America, alive and ready to explore further, because they had mastered an ancient truth. The best waste management system is one that never lets waste build up. Sometimes the smartest solution isn't solving the problem directly, it's finding a way to work around it.